Hey guys, it's Rob. This video is primarily for newer RC racers. Being relatively new myself, I'm learning a lot, and I thought I would just share with you a few things that I learned this past weekend at essentially our first ever indoor carpet race with touring cars. So if you're new to the hobby, this might be helpful to you. If you have more experience than me, you never know, you might pick up a tip or at least a reminder. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is steering dual rate. So I was fortunate enough to be pitting with some more experienced guys. Thanks Dan, Frank, and Corgi for all your help over the past weekend. Dan had mentioned about, I think we're in our third round of qualifiers. He had mentioned to me that my dual rate was set too high. The car was too twitchy. And I thought I understood dual rate and steering expo and curve and such, but I don't think I truly do. So I need to learn about that. So I'm not going to pretend to know anything about it. I'm just going to tell you the adjustment that we did. So both Garrett, my son, and we were running our steering dual rate on our radios at 100%. And the cars were really twitchy. And really what it was we were just driving essentially with our fingers. And that's kind of always been my driving style. And with COVID shutdowns and such, I don't remember how I had my radio set up when we raced off-road buggies on carpet. It's just been too long. I could probably pull my old radio out of the basement and have a look at the settings to remind myself, but I suspect we were running at 100% as well. So they told me to turn down my dual rate. A couple of the guys, I think Frank had said somewhere around maybe 75-ish or so on his radio, and Dan told me I think maybe 80. Me being stubborn the way I am, I was afraid to make a big change, so I turned my radio down to 85. That's on the Sanwa M17. Turned the dual rate down to 85, and it made a huge difference in drivability. It was almost comical. The car initially at 100%, it was very twitchy, little tiny inputs, and the car would be darting all over the place, and I was trying so hard to do well. Turning down the dual rate made the car flow, right? It was just, we could use more steering input and the car wouldn't be as jerky. Obviously our driving still needs improving, but we're getting better. But the car was a lot easier to flow through the infield. So if you're relatively new and you haven't played with dual rate on your radio, try it out. I'm going to learn some more about dual rates, expos, throttle speed, things like that, or not throttle speed, servo speed, and perhaps create another video in the future, or at very least put some links down in the description to some more experienced racers and their tips on those type of things for steering. I did find Max Mort has a short video about servos. I'll link to his video in the description, and Adam Drake has one that's all right as well. I'll link to his. He just touches on it a little bit. Those are the two that I found. Oh, I also asked the No Name RC podcast guys to kind of go in depth into dual rates and expos and servo speed, et cetera, So if they do, I'll link to their video in the description as well, and maybe put a timestamp on theirs because their videos tend to be very, very long. So there you go. Really, it was a long, drawn-out way of saying if you haven't played with dual rate yet, give it a try and see. It may help calm down your steering, make your car a lot easier to drive, and maybe help you find a kind of a flow on the track. And I think that'll apply to every class of racing, whether it be touring car or buggies or whatever. Another tip I want to talk about is something stupid that I did that essentially cost me the race. And I think I would have bumped in from the C to the B if I hadn't have made this stupid error. So I handed my car to Corgi early in the day. Corgi's an experienced, super fast racer. This used to actually be his car. I bought it used from him a couple years back. So he looked at my car, and the first thing he said is, "Hey, your receiver's falling out." And then he said, "Oh, actually, your ESC is as well." And look at this hot mess. This is my fan. I don't know if you can see that. So I used good quality Hootie super thin double side tape. It's never really given me a problem in the past. You can kind of see it there. It's the clear. And you can see on my receiver there's something else on there as well. That was my attempt to quickly attach the receiver at the start of the day. I don't know why these came loose. I'm usually quite particular. I think maybe when I was prepping the car to go or just take these electronics from our asphalt touring car and put them in here to start the carpet season, I must have used a rag that had either some wax or some oil or something when I cleaned the chassis, because nothing is sticking. So long story short, in the main, I was driving around and I noticed there was something dragging behind my car. I thought, oh, there's a big piece of tape or something. And I had a healthy lead, so I just pulled up to a marshal thinking, oh, he'll just grab that tape or whatever that junk is that's hanging off my car and send me on my way. But it turned out to be my nice Orca fan dragging on the carpet. So that was the end. And I think we only had, I'll say 30 seconds left. So I think I still came in third, I believe. But anyways, stupid error, cost me the race. So maybe you can learn from me. If you see something, oh, I forgot to mention, I did notice that the fan was loose and I just kind of shoved it back down. Thought, oh, that's good enough, not a big deal. So if you notice something is not quite right with your car, take the time to fix it, even if it is something stupid like failing double-sided tape, your fan is loose, or whatever it happens to be. Don't risk losing a race over something as small as that. So that's, I guess, is the tip. Take proper care of your equipment. I'm normally quite particular, but for whatever reason, I got lazy. I knew there was something wrong with the double-sided tape holding all this stuff down, but I didn't take the time to fix it correctly. So don't do what I do. Don't do what I did. Do as I say, not as I do. And hopefully that will, you'll avoid a failure the way I did. But I think that's it. So play with your dual rates. Inspect your equipment. Don't go out there if it's not looking right. Fix it before you hit the track. And oh, hey, bonus tip. If you do get the opportunity to hang out with some more experienced guys, observe what they're doing and take their advice. When they're telling you to do something, just do as they say, because they know what they're talking about. All right, guys, hopefully that helps. I'll talk to you again later. Okay, bye for now.